Hey friends, welcome back to Creating with Kita. Hey, listen, I've noticed and you've noticed there's a big hole in our crafting community with the closing of the Joanne craft stores. We Everybody's missing Joanne right now. Let's be honest. We are missing our good sis Joanne. But I've also noticed one of the other talking points is the involvement in private equity firms in our crafting community, right? So let's have an honest conversation, if you will. Like my good dear Carlos King would say, let's have an honest conversation. A lot of the talk is that private equity firms are destroying our stores. You know, they bought Joanne and we thought we could save it. Instead, they turned it under. AC Morris closed. Hancock Fabrics. Michael's is trying to become a monopoly now, and then the most recent, which isn't necessarily a craft store, but it used to be a retail house, warehouse, however you want to call it, for fellow crafters. It's the Painted Tree Boutiques. Now, with those, that's a little bit of a different concept, but I still feel like it kind of falls under this umbrella of, we would say, where private equity bought them or bought them out and then closed the business, so to speak. I believe the Painted Tree debacle, I'm gonna call it a debacle, y'all, because it was terrible. I mean, gosh. They just kind of closed the businesses or the warehouse stores on the fellow vendors just all of a sudden. And I feel like that story is still developing, so I don't want to touch on that too much. If you are involved or had a Painted Tree boutique, please provide some feedback because I would love to know. I'm here in the DC metro area and we had one, but it was entirely too far to even consider going to. It was not in DC proper, DC at all. It was more so Virginia, almost felt like West Virginia. Anyway, but let's get back to this. We've all kind of said, we miss Joann's. Private equity destroyed our craft stores. We only have Michael's. Michael's has raised their prices and everything like that. We're close to what happened, but let's really talk about it. So pretty much private equity companies or firms are there. They're there to buy companies with a lot of debt. They expect fast returns. They want to cut costs, right? Which, believe it or not, Joann's apparently was in a lot of debt. I think all of us can agree that we thought we could save Joann's on our own. I know personally myself, I bought a lot of yarn, and probably fabric too, tell you the truth, even though I don't sew. I definitely bought yarn and fabric to the point where I could probably have my own mini section in their store. I could be a subset, okay? I could be little Joanne, little JoJo, okay? As much yarn as I have over the years. But when these private equity firms come in, this could look like stores. It's going to start closing stores, right? So they're going to go from so many stores to shrinking down to maybe more of the popular, more higher earning stores. If you ever worked retail, you know how that is. Staff cuts, right? So everybody's trying to cut. They want to cut cost and overhead, reduce inventory, have quick sales, etc. And also I see, and if you see me looking to the side, I'm looking at my notes, okay? And also this is a big one, deferred maintenance. Now, I know for sure that we all saw a couple of TikTok videos as well as other Instagram, etc., from especially Joann employees in their last day saying, hey, the AC is off. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. I think even the local one near me, certain things in the store, the lights and whatever, in certain parts of the store was like, why is it so dark in here? They're not maintaining it. They're like, hey, we're going to close the store. Why am I changing the light bulb? Hey. I guess I'm not paid the big bucks, but hey, here we are. But sadly, these things weaken the brand over time and just kind of hurt the industry and the image of the store and all, right? But the other part too is the rise and change in consumer behavior, right? So now a lot of us are shopping on Amazon. A lot of us are shopping on Etsy and personal websites, TikTok shop. I believe even now Instagram has a option where you can click on the button to buy from someone, right? Walmart and Target. Walmart has brought its craft section back. Target did not, at least as of this video. Target has not. I feel like they have a small craft section, but they used to sell, funny enough, Target used to sell yarn, just like they had a small section. I think they tried it and they were like, we'll just stick to the projects. Ollie's, for example, is a big closeout store, but they also have yarn, you know, and also some of the old things. So those are some of the things that are affecting our stores, our favorite retail stores closing. Also, too, some of our crafts are dying out. The aspect of even going to the mall. You know, a lot of us, I'm in my 40s, growing up, we loved going to the mall. We loved going to the store, just walking around and spending all of our good money, you know, our extra money. And during tax time, going and be like, well, I'm going to save it for this Cricut machine. I'm going to save it for this yarn, you know. And younger crafters now are going to Amazon, TikTok. I don't even want to say yard sales, but they're going in different areas. So now that demographic shift is also playing a role of what's going on with our stores and in retail environments in general, you know. So we're playing, sadly, we're playing our part, you know, but we gotta make some changes, if you will. But also, while we want to, we as the consumer have to own our changes and everything like that, I can't let private equity off the hook. They can't, many of these companies taking over, buying out or whatever, they can't just say, oh, we're going to cut costs and just everything will be okay. Or in the case of like Joann's, we're just going to move her into her stock into Michael's and they'll be fine. They'll be fine. It doesn't work like that, especially in the crafting community. The crafting community is about creativity, community, inspiration. We want a feel-good experience, right? We want a feel-good experience in our store. You can't just, oh, we're gonna just move this yarn from this store to that store and it'll be okay. They'll be okay. We'll take what's the yarn? I can't remember the name. Y'all know the yarn that was exclusively at Joann's. Their yarn. We'll take Joann's yarn, move it to Michael's. Everything will be fine. No. It's a completely different experience, as I'm sure they're studying the numbers and finding out, right? Also, a lot of these stores cannot handle, or I shouldn't even just hate on Michael's, Ollie's too. You know, they're taking some of the old and dead stock inventory, and it's just not the same experience as Joann's. It is just not the same experience as AC Moore. I loved AC Moore. Let me just hand up to that. I loved AC Moore. I loved AC Moore probably better than Michael's and Hobby. I forgot about Hobby Lobby, which Hobby Lobby is his own. Hobby Lobby is his own video. If you know, you know. Okay, I don't even want to talk about Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is his own video. I'll see them when they had their clearance. Yeah, that's all I'm saying on Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is gonna get their own video sometime in the future. We're probably gonna have some videos in the future called Surviving Hobby Lobby. Anyway, if you watched to this point, shout out to you. Okay, sorry. Anyway, didn't mean to ramble there, right? But private equity is just, in my opinion, it still is making a mess. I'm sorry. It is. They could have did more for Joann's. We all know it. But now, let's talk about moving forward, right? Because the love of our life, Joann's, is coming back. Baby, she's going up to yonder. Okay, she's going to glory. Joann's, okay, she is wearing a crown, okay, as they say. Now this is the part where I guess us as the consumer and small businesses, we can switch it up and do something different, right? So independent creators, small businesses, and other people in this crafting community, we're rising. I truly feel like the shift is changing, right? So hopefully, I mean, I know people still love their Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and Ollie's, and if you have any other big box craft stores, but if not, definitely look for your local craft stores, right? So there's scrap stores like Scrap Atlanta, there's local yarn shops in your area. Google, literally, y'all, just Google local yarn shops in whatever city you have. We have plenty here in the DC area, and I'm so excited to support. They need our support, right? I would love to see that. local yarn shops, local fabric stores, bead. I don't know if we have any bead stores here, but bead stores, all of that. If you're watching this far, please be sure to support your local small business, your indie yarn dyers, your indie fabric stores, your scrap stores, and they will, or other stores that buy old stock and then create a store. I've seen that also. There's another one, I can't think of it, but oh, and there's also Mama Mercantile. She has a truck. She has a yarn truck. I love that idea. I love that idea. I actually do. I need to like dial up and just, I want to go see where she is. But your local craft stores need you at this point, right? They foster connection in community. They have great environments. Okay, listen, maybe not all of them. They learning. They small businesses, y'all. They're learning. But a lot of them do have great environments, very personable, room for you to sit and stitch, you know. Other experiences, classes, if you need classes, right? I mean, I definitely have some YouTube classes, but here in person also, I host a sip and stitch on Wednesdays. I'm also doing other events coming up. I teach crochet, you know, but look for, now we have to shift our attention, I believe, in this new economy, in this new world, where yes, we do have our Hobby Lobby and Michaels and Ollie's. I think that's it for the big box stores, right? But now, if you're craving more, definitely look for your small businesses, your local yarn shops, your local craft stores. Yeah, because private equity can't get them. Maybe they can. I shouldn't speak for them. Private equity can't shift them, right? You know, hopefully they won't be bought out. You know, we have to not mourn Joanne's, but we got to move forward, y'all. We really do. But my conspiracy theory is, yes, private equity, while she does her damage, while they do their damage, these firms come in, they make a mess or whatever, we've got to support our stores. We've got to support our stores, support our local yarn shops, and everything like that. And honestly, y'all, finally, let me just say this. This is why our crafting community, this is my plug, always and will forever be for the crafting community to get together, be it crochet, knitting, fiber artists, sewers, needlepoint, small studios, large studios, creative groups, whatever. Like, we need to get back together, get more inspiration going, get support, community, all of that. Because clearly, you know, capitalism is run amok and making a mess. But if we really stick together, we can beat these private equity firms all day, every day. So yeah, we got to come together, y'all. And I know in many communities, in many cities, people are doing that. Go on meetup.com. I have my own community, close-knit circle on Facebook. But also I'm on TikTok and everything too, just under this name. If you are on any of those apps, you can definitely do that. But community is the biggest way we're going to combat this capitalism, these private equity firms, and anything else, right? We got to support your local artists, support your local community, and go there to find inspiration, okay? So that's it, you guys. Now I want to know, what do you feel about, if you made it this far, I'd love to see comments, our discussion, and maybe even follow-up videos, right? Do you think private equity has ruined the craft industry, craft stores, etc.? Or do you think these businesses were on their way out? I feel like the argument I've made kind of goes both ways. Yes, private equity destroyed it, but also are people still going to the malls? But I would love to hear y'all's view. Or going to the stores, malls, etc. But I would love to hear what you all have to say. Let's talk about it in the comments, all right? This is your first time watching. Again, I'm Kita with Creating with Kita. Let's talk about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, maybe even hype. I guess that's a new thing now on YouTube. But I would love to hear what you all think. Bye.